Hello everyone, we've had another fantastic year at Archbold, working very hard on your behalf to protect the life and the lands and the waters of the heartland of Florida and beyond. Our dedicated staff and interns would like to take a few moments here to share with you, in their own words, what the results of your generosity have yielded. We hope you'll be really inspired and continue to support us here at Archbold Biological Station.
Well, today we begin our 27th year of working on this beautiful scrub mint that occurs only near Archbold in Highlands County and is one of several dozen endangered plants that we're interested in. And our research over 27 years has provided land managers with a more nuanced view of exactly what fire management is needed to maintain these populations.
Oh, it looks like mine! A little bit.
Thank you for your support of Archbold Summer Camp. With your help, we've got kids getting out of the house, coming out here, exploring nature. Today we're in the seasonal pond. Tomorrow we'll go to a Florida cattle ranch. On Friday we'll explore one of Florida's sinkhole lakes.
It's really fun every time I come here, and I always meet new people.
We're here at Buck Island Ranch. For the last 25 years, we have been studying the environment and the interactions of a working cattle ranch. Some of the things we are doing is learning more about our water storage and water flow to enhance and protect the downstream ecosystems in the northern Everglades. This is a very special place. If there was one or two things that would come out of this operation that would help the overall environment and other ranching families sustain their lands for the next generation.
We're about to release this jay, and we've done a couple things with this jay that we wouldn't be able to do without the generous funding provided by Friends of Archbold Biological Station. Some of the new technologies that we're pursuing are things like genetics, which give us insights into how those genes relate to specific adaptations of these birds. And also some neat studies that we're doing now that help us understand better what causes variation in the color of these jays and how they use that as signals. So your funding has allowed us to ask new ecological questions with exciting new technologies.
So these areas of sand have an enormous fauna that lives just under the surface of the sand. One of the groups that is very well developed here are the ants. These ants are doing lots of things, but most of them live in the sand because the sand is so easy to live in. So they dig these burrows, many of them 3 feet deep or more, and forage on the surface. So in our lab, we study ants, and we're actually making a manual of ants so everyone will be able to identify ants and know about their natural history.
We've been working to understand the ecology of a working ranch land. One of our really interesting findings is that plants that cattle don't like to eat function as small refuges for plants that they do like to eat. And then when grazing is removed from wetlands, these plants increase their populations from these small areas.
This is the site of one of the longest running population studies of gopher tortoises anywhere in the range of the species. You know, a couple of years ago, I wouldn't have even been able to walk out here. It was so thick, and there were very few tortoise burrows in this unit. But within the last few months, we were able to mow and we burned this area. We're tracking the success of that, so we have 18 tortoises with radio transmitters on them, and we're seeing how they respond to this new habitat, essentially. And fortunately, we are seeing tortoises move back in, so we really appreciate the support in doing this and looking forward to how tortoises and other animals respond.
We're standing in a unit that was just burned 6 months ago. This area, composed of scrub, flatwoods, and seasonal wetlands, burned very intensely, but now you can see how it's recovering from that fire, with lots of resprouting oaks, lots of grasses flowering. Archbold burns for many reasons, including research objectives, restoring long unburned areas like sandhills, and maintaining native open habitat, which is required by many scrub species.
Archbold is a really cool place to do an environmental internship. These are all Pinewoods tree frogs. So I'm out here today at this seasonal pond, which we recently burned in a fire that I got to help out on, which was really cool, to sample for amphibians and insects I'm having a really great time learning about how fire is affecting those things in these seasonal pond communities. Before my Archbold internship, I didn't really know what I wanted to study, but now I know I want to study amphibian conservation.
I've been researching how habitat and group size impact the feeding of young jays after they leave the nest.
Plant-pollinator interactions in Florida rosemary scrub habitats.
The risk for juvenile gopher tortoises from predators in different habitats.
How prescribed burns, fertilizer, and cattle grazing may be affecting the water quality as well as the vegetation in these wetlands.
The relationship between invasive feral hogs and native plant communities here in Florida.
One of the most amazing things about being here is being able to work so closely with a species that you really can't do anywhere else in the world.
It helped me to grow, and I think a really big part of that was being able to work in such a unique and highly endangered ecosystem.
We are the
intern class
of 2014.
And we wanted to say something to you.
What were we going to say again?
Thank you!
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to end by saying thank you to all our supporters over the years, and we look forward to sharing with you more in the future.
So when you look out over the sandy world that's so special, you need to know that something much less special could have happened here. It could have been a strip mall or a golf course, something we already have a lot of. The only reason that that didn't happen is because special people protected and supported this unusual place. So, on behalf of all the organisms that live here in this special place, thank you. Of course, you're not going to get a thank you note from all the plants and animals that live here. But they can repay you and all of us, really, just by their existence and perhaps by sharing with us some of their secrets of survival.